No.
Welcome to Bad Gear, the show about the world's most hated audio tools. After dozens of episodes, it still feels like a little punch in the gut to find out that a favorite musical instrument qualifies as bad gear, even for me. Admittedly, the selection process is not exactly scientific, and its main criterion is the notorious screen filled with online hate. If I can fill this screen, it's bad gear. Some of you might say that you can do this with every piece of equipment, and believe me, I tried. But there is a vast amount of music production tools where this essential box cannot be ticked. Today we are going to talk about my beloved 2017 Elektron Digitakt, and it blew my mind that the bulletin board of the test filled up faster than a Walmart on Black Friday. Regardless of the almost erotic relationship between me and today's protagonist, it's gonna get the bad gear treatment. At the first glance, the Elektron Digitakt is ticking all the boxes. If this was the 80s. Mono sampling, no loop crossfade, no slicing of drum loops, no waveform zoom after recording, a sample length limit of 33 seconds and,
in defiance of God and man and all things holy,
no song mode. In defense of the Digitakt, we shouldn't forget about the bright display, excellent build quality, ASMR-worthy buttons, super smooth endless encoders and a clear and punchy headphone output. Speaking of output, the stereo outs might be a deal breaker for some, but Elektron solved that issue by implementing next level USB wizardry we will talk about in a minute. There's an actual MIDI trio capable of DIN sync for legacy gear, and yeah, you don't have to stop playback for sampling. Don't have to stop playback for sampling. Samples can be stored onto the 1GB plus drive and have to be loaded into the 64MB sample memory before you can play them. Being deeply traumatized by the menus and manuals of 80s Roland rack units and contemporary Casio gear, the structure of the Digitakt is a breath of fresh air. However, there is a learning curve. Not only because the instrument is steep, but also because the guys over at Elektron have a very specific idea how things should be done. Nuanced dynamics, precise micro-timing, off-the-grid rhythms and complex automations and modulations, it's all there, but you have to do it the Elektron way. If you don't click with that workflow, it can be quite frustrating. Please keep in mind that I'm miles away from being a true Digitakt master. I mostly know my way around, but there are many features and functionalities I have never used and probably haven't even heard about. If you want to find out about the nooks and crannies of the Digitakt, I would recommend to watch the videos of the great folks I learned and still learn from. First and foremost Cuckoo, Ricky Tines, Bo, Loop-Up, Dave Mack and Eva Triti. There are 8 polyphonic MIDI tracks and 8 monophonic sample player voices that got all the basics covered. Forward, loop, bit crusher, a low-pass high-pass filter with ADSR, an overdrive, a stripped-down but functional envelope for amplitude, a delay, reverb, a super punchy master compressor and a sophisticated LFO section. You can quantize notes, play samples chromatically, and forge patterns of up to 4 bars. One of the main points of criticism is the aforementioned absence of a song mode, but you can temporarily chain patterns. I am not aware of a straightforward way of backing up your creations in their entirety, and Elektron currently provides 2 computer interfaces: Transfer for sample exchange and Overbridge for everything else. Overbridge also works great as a plugin, and you can use it for MIDI, sync and streaming discrete outputs to your DAW in more or less real time. Digitakts are pricey but readily available at the music tech retailer of your choice, and used models are no bargain either. We all know that limitations spark creativity. Did Elektron go too far when they designed the Digitakt? You have already heard the Digitakt in today's intro tune and might have noticed the subtle edge the master compressor gave to the iconic TR-707 drum samples. Maybe we should start this off with a little workflow exercise and minimalist boom bap beats. You can clearly tell that Elektron did a great job with the UI. Switching between the different modes turns into muscle memory quickly, and the sample engine, FX and converters are high-end. I especially like the master compressor. There are a lot of workarounds for this, but still, the 8 voices are eaten up quickly when you get into the flow. We all know that the Digitakt allows for some nice drums. Let's use it as a multi-timbral synth and MIDI mastermind in this full-on trance setup. Limitations aside, the Digitakt is a versatile centerpiece. MIDI is tight and there are no hiccups in the workflow as soon as you got used to it. What is more, the crystalline sound quality is a nice complement to many setups, especially when your other instruments are more on the mellow side. I wanna know how digital and in-your-face the Digitakt can sound in this cold as ice, Nordic understatement, maxi-minimal Fibonacci tech. Verdict. Let's get this out of the way first. The Digitakt is one of my favorite electronic musical instruments, and Elektron is an innovative company. They have great ideas and I appreciate that they stick to their concepts. A rare combination. Nevertheless, I can understand why the Digitakt just doesn't work for everybody, especially when you come from a different school of thought like MPC-style beat creation. The Digitakt works great as a self-contained music production platform, but there are 2 applications where I would say it really shines. Organizing doorless setups while providing the proverbial icing on the cake and creating beats of all genres that need to slam like there's no tomorrow. Some of you might ask, have I run out of bad gear? No, and I probably never will. Did I just need an excuse for dabbling around with the Digitakt on the show? Of course not. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Feel free to like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment what other kind of gear you would like to see and hear on the show.